Life has a way of teaching us lessons, whether we're ready for them or not. Sometimes that lesson is knowing when to walk away. When something is over, when a relationship has crumbled, when a dream has failed, when a chapter has closed, we have a choice. We can either keep holding on, clinging to what was, or we can face the truth and let it end. The hardest part of moving forward is accepting that some things are not meant to last forever. We trick ourselves into believing that if we just try harder, if we just wait a little longer, things will go back to the way they used to be. But deep down, we know the truth. We know when something has run its course. We just don't want to admit it, because admitting it means change, and change is uncomfortable. But here's the reality. Holding on to something that is already gone doesn't bring it back, it only holds you back. It keeps you stuck in a place you've outgrown. It keeps you from becoming who you are meant to be. There is power in recognizing that an ending is not a failure, it's a transition. It's the universe, or God, or whatever you believe in, making space for something new. Think about it. How many times have you stayed in a situation long past its expiration date? How many times have you held on to someone who already walked away from you? How many times have you replayed a mistake in your head, wishing you could go back and change it? But let me ask you this. Has any of that ever changed the outcome? Has wishing, has regretting, has holding on ever made things the way they once were? No, it hasn't, and it never will. Growth requires endings. If you want to step into the next level of your life, you have to let go of what no longer serves you. You have to be brave enough to say, this is over. This is not for me anymore. This is where I stop looking back and start moving forward. Now, don't get me wrong, that's not easy. It takes courage to face the truth. It takes strength to look at something you once loved, someone you once believed in, a dream you once chased, and say, it's time to let this go. But that's what strength really is. Strength isn't holding on until your hands bleed. Strength is knowing when to unclench your fists. I want you to think about a tree in the fall. When the season changes, the leaves don't fight to stay on the branches. They don't resist the wind. They don't cling to what was. They let go, not because they want to, but because it's time. They trust the process, knowing that after the cold, after the emptiness, spring will come again. And just like the trees, you have to trust that endings are not punishments. They are not failures. They are simply seasons changing in your life. When a door closes, stop standing there knocking. Stop waiting for someone to open it. Stop hoping that if you just beg hard enough, life will let you back in. If that door was meant to stay open, it would have. But it didn't, and that's your sign. That's your sign to walk away. And yes, it's going to hurt. It's going to feel like a piece of you is missing. It's going to feel like the world is unfair, like you've lost something irreplaceable. But the truth is, you're not losing, you're learning. You're learning what doesn't fit in your life anymore. You're learning what you deserve. You're learning how to release what isn't meant for you so that you can make room for what is. Think about all the greats. Denzel Washington, Oprah Winfrey, Steve Jobs, Michael Jordan. Every single one of them faced rejection. Every single one of them had doors slammed in their faces. But instead of wasting time trying to force something that wasn't meant for them, they moved on. They let those chapters close so they could step into something greater. And that's what you need to do. Stop revisiting places that broke you. Stop reopening wounds that need to heal. Stop holding on to people who have already let go of you. The longer you stay in a place that no longer serves you, the longer you delay the blessings waiting for you on the other side. Let it end. Let it be over. Let the past be the past. Not because it's easy, not because you don't care, but because you respect yourself enough to say, I deserve more. Because you believe in the future more than you fear the unknown. Because you refuse to be a prisoner of what once was. There is power in moving forward. There is peace in letting go. And when you finally accept that, when you finally stop fighting what is already done, you'll realize something powerful. Endings are just beginnings in disguise. Pain is something we all try to avoid. It's uncomfortable, it's heavy, it makes us feel weak, vulnerable, exposed. But the truth is, pain is necessary. Pain is proof that you're alive, that you're growing, that you're moving through something real. Yet too often we run from it. We distract ourselves, we numb it, we pretend it doesn't exist, all because we don't want to feel the weight of what's really happening inside of us. But here's what I want you to understand. Avoiding pain doesn't make it go away. Pushing it down, covering it up, pretending you're fine when you're not, that only makes it linger. It doesn't heal you. It haunts you. It follows you into every relationship, every opportunity, every quiet moment when you think no one is watching. You can fake a smile. You can say, "I'm good." You can act like nothing hurts. But deep down, you know the truth. The pain is still there. You have to let it hurt. You have to sit with it. You have to feel every ounce of what you're going through, no matter how much it burns. Because pain is not your enemy. It's your teacher. It is showing you something. It is breaking something in you so that it can rebuild you into something stronger. Think about an injury like a broken bone. If you don't treat it, if you don't let it heal the right way, it will never work the same again. You'll carry that injury for the rest of your life, and it will show up when you least expect it. The same is true for emotional pain. If you don't face it, if you don't let yourself feel it, it won't just disappear. It will show up in the way you love, in the way you trust, in the way you see yourself and the world around you. Maybe someone you loved walked away from you. Maybe you lost a dream you worked years to build. Maybe life knocked you down in a way you never saw coming. And right now you don't want to feel it. You want to move on, skip the hard part, get back to being okay. But healing doesn't work that way. You can't rush this. You can't fake your way through it. You have to feel every ounce of that pain, because that is where healing begins. And yes, it's going to hurt. It's going to feel unbearable some days. You're going to wake up with a weight on your chest that feels too heavy to carry. You're going to have moments where the memories hit you so hard you can't breathe. You're going to wonder if you'll ever feel whole again. And I won't lie to you, there's no shortcut through that. No magic words, no quick fix. The only way out is through. But here's the thing, you will get through it. Think about the hardest thing you've ever been through in your life. Think about the moment that broke you, the moment that made you question if you'd ever recover. You thought it was the end. You thought you'd never feel okay again, but look at you. You're still here. You survived. And that pain, the one you thought would last forever, is now just a memory. It shaped you, but it did not destroy you. And this pain, the one you're feeling now, it won't destroy you either. It will feel like it, but I promise you, one day you'll wake up and realize it doesn't hurt as much. One day you'll look back and see that this moment, this pain, was just another chapter, not the whole story. Too many people try to skip this step. They try to fill the void with distractions, jumping into another relationship too soon, drowning themselves in work, pretending everything is fine while they're breaking inside. But you don't heal by avoiding pain. You heal by facing it, by sitting in it, by allowing yourself to grieve what was lost, what could have been, what will never be. So if you need to cry, cry. If you need to scream, scream. If you need to sit alone in the quiet and just feel everything, do that. Stop apologizing for your pain. Stop feeling guilty for not moving on fast enough. Stop thinking that feeling hurt makes you weak, because real strength isn't avoiding pain. It's facing it. It's looking at your wounds, acknowledging them, and saying, "I will not let this break me." And here's what's beautiful. Pain never lasts forever. It has a way of fading, softening, transforming. The things that hurt the most today will be the things that make you stronger tomorrow. The heartbreak, the failure, the disappointment. One day, those things will be the reason you stand taller, love deeper, believe in yourself more. So let it hurt. Let yourself feel every ounce of it, because the only way to truly heal, to truly move forward, is to face the pain head on and trust that one day it won't feel this way anymore. Healing is not something that happens overnight. It's not something you can rush. and it's certainly not something you can control. The process of healing is a journey that requires patience, self-compassion, and time. When you're in the midst of pain, it's hard to imagine that anything could ever change, that you'll ever feel whole again. But I promise you, healing is real, and though it may take time, it is the most beautiful and transformative thing you will experience if you are willing to let it happen. The first thing you need to understand is that healing is not a linear process. It's not a straight line from hurt to happiness. It's more like a winding road, filled with ups and downs, setbacks and progress, tears and laughter. Some days you'll feel like you're finally moving forward, like you found peace. Other days, the weight of what you've been through will hit you hard, and you'll wonder if you'll ever feel like yourself again. That's normal. Healing is messy, it's complicated, and it's often not the way we expect it to be. But what I want you to know is that every step, no matter how small, is progress. Every tear, every moment of frustration is part of the process. You can't rush healing. It's easy to get frustrated with yourself, to feel like you should be over it by now. Society tells us we should bounce back quickly from pain, that we should put on a brave face and move on as if nothing happened. But that's not how healing works. Healing requires you to feel everything. It requires you to be vulnerable with yourself, to give yourself permission to grieve, to rest, and to recover at your own pace. The truth is, healing isn't about forgetting. It's not about erasing the scars or pretending the hurt never happened. Healing is about acceptance. It's about learning to live with what happened, finding peace with it, and then moving forward. It's about taking the broken pieces of who you were and slowly, with care and time, piecing them back together. The scars you carry from pain are not signs of weakness. They are badges of resilience. They are reminders that you faced your pain head-on and survived. One of the hardest things about healing is that it often requires us to confront ourselves in ways we never have before. When you're hurting, it's easy to blame the world, to blame others, to blame your circumstances. But healing asks you to look inward. It asks you to ask tough questions. How did I contribute to this pain? What do I need to learn from this? How do I need to grow? These questions aren't meant to make you feel guilty or to beat yourself up. They are there to help you understand how to break the cycle of hurt, how to ensure that you don't repeat the same mistakes, how to create space for new, healthier patterns in your life. Another important part of healing is learning to let go, letting go of anger, resentment, regret, and shame. These emotions can be powerful, but they are also toxic when held onto for too long. Forgiveness doesn't mean excusing what happened or saying it was okay. It means giving yourself permission to release the emotional weight that holds you back. It means choosing peace over pain, freedom over bondage. Forgiveness is not about the other person. It's about you. It's about freeing yourself from the chains of the past so that you can move forward unburdened. It's also essential to be kind to yourself during this process. When you're hurting, the last thing you need is more self-criticism. You've already been through so much, and adding guilt or shame to that only delays the healing process. Give yourself grace, give yourself time, and allow yourself to heal at your own pace, without judgment. You don't need to be fine right away. It's okay to be a work in progress. Healing isn't a destination, it's a journey, and you are allowed to take your time. Surround yourself with support. Healing is rarely something we can do alone. Whether it's friends, family, a therapist, or a support group, don't be afraid to lean on those who care about you. Sometimes, just having someone listen to your pain without offering solutions or judgments can be incredibly healing in itself. And as you heal, you'll begin to see the beauty in the relationships that support and uplift you. Most importantly, trust the process. Trust that every moment of pain, every moment of self-doubt, is leading you to a better version of yourself. Trust that you will come out of this stronger, wiser, and more compassionate. Trust that there is light at the end of the tunnel. Healing is not easy, but it is worth it. It is worth the effort, the vulnerability, and the time it takes. And one day you'll look back on this moment, the one where you felt broken, where you thought you couldn't go on, and you'll realize something incredible. You have healed. You have emerged from the pain, not unscathed, but transformed. You are not the person you were before you went through this. And that's okay, because who you are now is stronger, more resilient, and more capable of facing whatever comes next. Let it heal, and in time, you will see how much beauty comes from the brokenness. Pain, as much as we dread it, holds an undeniable power within it. It has the ability to transform us if we allow it. I know, it's hard to think about pain in a positive light when you're in the middle of it. When you're feeling like the world is collapsing around you, it seems impossible to see any good coming from it. But the truth is, pain can become one of your greatest sources of strength if you're willing to harness it. It's about turning what hurts into something that fuels your future, using the struggle to build the resilience and determination that will carry you through life. When you experience pain, whether it's emotional, physical, or psychological, you are presented with a choice. You can let it break you, you can let it consume you, or you can choose to let it teach you. The key to turning pain into power lies in the decision you make in those moments of darkness. The easiest path might seem like retreating, like giving in to the despair. But that's not where growth happens. Growth happens when you refuse to stay down. Growth happens when you rise, when you face the storm head on, and you say, "This pain will not defeat me. I will use it to become stronger." One of the most powerful things about pain is that it strips you down to your core. It forces you to confront who you really are, to question your limits, your beliefs, and your purpose. When you face pain, you come face to face with the rawest parts of yourself. You find out what you're truly made of. Pain asks you, what are you going to do now? Are you going to stay in this place of suffering? Or are you going to rise and prove that you are bigger than the hurt? Think about some of the most successful people in the world. Think about Oprah Winfrey, who grew up in poverty and faced sexual abuse. Or Steve Jobs, who was once fired from the company he founded. Or Michael Jordan, who was cut from his high school basketball team. All of these individuals faced pain, real, life-shattering pain, but they used it as a driving force. They took their challenges, their losses, and their setbacks, and they channeled them into determination. They didn't let their pain define them. They used it to fuel their passion, their creativity, and their perseverance. When you choose to turn your pain into power, you stop being a victim of your circumstances. You become the author of your story. You stop allowing life to dictate the narrative, and you start writing your own. Pain can either be the end of your story, or it can be the beginning of a new chapter. It's all about how you choose to respond. Here's the thing. Pain often points us to where we need to grow. It shows us the areas in our lives that need healing, that need attention, that need a shift in perspective. When you experience heartbreak, failure, or loss, it can be a wake-up call. A moment that forces you to reassess your values, your goals, and your dreams. It's like a reset button for your life. Pain makes you ask the hard questions. What do I really want? What's worth fighting for? What do I need to let go of in order to move forward? These are the kinds of questions that lead to breakthroughs, that lead to self-discovery. Because benchmarks build commitment. Benchmarks build organizations. Turning pain into power also requires a change in mindset. It means refusing to see yourself as a victim of your circumstances and instead embracing the challenge. It means saying, "This hurts, but I am not going to let it stop me. I will use this to push myself harder, to become better, to grow stronger." This shift in mindset is what separates those who overcome from those who get stuck. You can't change what happened to you, but you can change how you respond to it. Another way to turn pain into power is by helping others. When you've been through something difficult, you understand what it feels like to suffer. You know the depths of heartache, loss, and failure. And when you've healed, you can use that experience to uplift someone else who is going through something similar. The power of empathy is immeasurable. There's something incredibly healing about knowing that you're not alone. And by sharing your story, by using your pain to help others, you begin to turn your hurt into healing, not just for yourself, but for those around you. Remember, power doesn't come from avoiding pain. It comes from facing it. It comes from standing up after every fall, from pushing forward when everything inside you says to give up. Every time you face pain and keep going, you become stronger. You build resilience. You build confidence in your ability to handle life's challenges. And each time you rise from the ashes, you get closer to the person you were always meant to be. You have within you the ability to turn your pain into power, but it requires a decision to not let pain break you, but to use it as fuel for the fire within you. Pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. It's up to you whether you let pain define your future or whether you use it as a catalyst for your growth. Choose power. Choose to rise. Choose to turn your pain into the strength that propels you forward. Walking forward with purpose means living a life where every step you take is intentional. Every decision you make is aligned with your deeper goals, and every moment holds meaning. It's about moving beyond mere existence and stepping into a life that is rich with direction and meaning. When you walk forward with purpose, you approach life with a sense of clarity, a sense of knowing where you're headed, and a belief that each day holds an opportunity for you to create the life you want. Purpose is what drives you. It's the reason you get up in the morning and keep going, even when the path is difficult. It's the compass that guides your decisions, helps you navigate through challenges, and keeps you grounded when life seems uncertain. Without purpose, it's easy to feel lost, to drift from one thing to another, without a real sense of direction or fulfillment. But when you walk forward with purpose, even the toughest days carry weight and meaning because you know why you're doing what you're doing, and that makes all the difference. One of the most important things about walking forward with purpose is understanding that it's not always about having a grand, overarching goal. Purpose doesn't always come in the form of a monumental dream. Sometimes it's about living with intention in the small moments. It's about making sure that the little things you do every day align with your values, with the person you are becoming, whether it's the way you treat others, the work you put into your craft, or the choices you make about how to spend your time. Every single thing you do matters when you're walking with purpose. Having purpose is about living authentically. It's about being true to who you are, to your passions, your values, and your strengths. When you walk forward with purpose, you no longer let the opinions of others dictate your actions. You no longer waste energy on things that don't align with your true self. You stand tall in your decisions and know that as long as you are being true to your purpose, you are on the right path. And while others may not always understand your journey or the choices you make, walking with purpose means having the confidence to stay the course. Purpose also gives you resilience. Life is full of setbacks, obstacles, and moments of doubt. But when you walk with purpose, those challenges don't derail you. Instead, they become opportunities for growth. When you know where you're going and why you're headed there, you can endure even the hardest times. The pain, the failures, and the hardships will no longer be roadblocks. They will be stepping stones, learning experiences that shape you into a stronger, more determined person. Walking forward with purpose means taking responsibility for your life. It's about no longer waiting for things to change, for the right circumstances, or for someone to tell you what to do. You are the architect of your own destiny. You are in control of the life you create. And while you can't control every external factor, you can control how you respond to what life throws at you. When you live with purpose, you make choices based on your vision for the future, not out of fear, complacency, or convenience. It also means learning to let go of distractions. When you're walking with purpose, you begin to recognize what doesn't serve you. You learn to say no to things that drain your energy, that don't align with your values, or that pull you off course. You become clear on what truly matters and eliminate the noise that clouds your vision. This clarity of purpose allows you to focus on what's important, to invest your time and energy in the things that will get you closer to your goals and fulfill your deepest desires. Walking forward with purpose also involves being adaptable. While purpose gives you direction, life often requires flexibility. Sometimes the path you thought you'd take shifts, and you need to adjust your course. You may face unexpected opportunities, or you may have to take detours to get to where you ultimately want to be. And that's okay. Walking with purpose doesn't mean rigidly sticking to one plan at all costs. It means remaining connected to your deeper why, even if the journey doesn't always look like what you imagined. Purpose provides the foundation, but your willingness to adapt to new circumstances allows you to remain resilient and open to life's lessons. When you walk forward with purpose, you also inspire those around you. People are drawn to those who live intentionally, who have a clear sense of direction, and who embody the qualities they want to see in the world. When you lead with purpose, others feel that energy, that conviction, and it encourages them to find their own path. Your purpose can become a source of inspiration for others, a beacon that lights the way for them as they navigate their own journey. In the end, walking forward with purpose is about more than just achieving external success. It's about living a life of fulfillment, integrity, and authenticity. It's about being true to who you are, following your passions, and facing the challenges of life with the belief that you are moving towards something greater than yourself. When you walk with purpose, every step you take brings you closer to your highest potential, to the person you are always meant to become. It's about living a life of meaning, not just for you, but for everyone you touch along the way. When you walk forward with purpose, you are not just existing, you are truly living.